Welcome to another episode of It Had to Be Said podcast, where we say out loud what you think in private. No topic is off limits. And in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Texas and one of, if not the smartest law that I've just discovered. But right now, I know that it's only in Texas and it's something that we need to adopt nationwide on a federal and local level. And that is called the Wrongful Conduct Act, right? And what that basically means is if somebody comes into your home or to your place of business and they are committing a crime, and in the process of committing that crime, they get hurt, they can sue you, but they cannot sue you for financial damages to help with their recovery or because they were hurt during the process of committing that crime. Hence the name Wrongful Conduct Act. Okay, so basically, I believe this is something that we should adopt on a national level, and we can apply it to so many different instances, right? Take, for example, right now you have a big problem in New York and other major urban cities where, like the CVS's, the Walmarts, the pharmacies, and the big box stores, they're pulling out of certain areas because there's so much theft, right? And the reason why there's so much theft is because these big corporations, they don't want to get sued if they try to stop or apprehend these shoplifters. So in most states, the shoplifters know that they can walk into a store, take a shopping cart, take a bag, stuff it with as much goods as possible, and just walk out, right? And nobody's going to stop them. And if you do try to stop them and they fight back, your employees can get hurt, or if the person get hurt, they're going to sue you and you're going to be liable for it. So if we were to take this and implement this on a national level, right, and somebody comes into your place of business and starts stealing, you try to stop them or apprehend them and they decide to fight back, and then you just hit them with a 1, 2 and bust up their lips. I mean, of course, to a reasonable extent, they can't sue you. You can't be held financially responsible for their medical bills or for their so-called emotional damage or whatever the case may be, right? And that's in one instance that we can apply that. Now, the other instance that we can apply that, which costs us taxpayers so much money, is when it comes down to law enforcement. I mean, right now, when I see these videos of the body cameras. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll notice most of the people that I follow are pages related to law enforcement and body camera views, right? Not where law enforcement is sitting there and talking, but literally where they're showing you body camera views. And what you come to find is that people are really they're baiting officers into arguments or into physical altercations or into arrests, and then they resist arrest, and then they're trying to bait them so this way they can file a lawsuit, right? And I think if this particular what could I say? If this particular now I'm having a brain fart. If this particular law was to go into place on a national level, what would happen is somebody gets pulled over and you don't comply with the police officer, and then the police officer decides, well, we're going to go ahead and arrest you.
Looking for a home that keeps you connected to Silicon Valley without the usual barriers to entry? The Gates in Morgan Hill by City Ventures is a walkable neighborhood near downtown restaurants, outdoor trails, and an easy commute to the Bay Area. It's a small town setting with access to major career hubs. Every home is all electric with buyer-owned solar included. With limited availability, now's the time to take a closer look. Discover your new home at cityventures.com. That's cityventures.com.
You decide to resist arrest. Whatever happens after that, the city, the state, the government, the police department, then they cannot be held accountable or liable financially for any injuries or anything that happens to you. I'm telling you, if this was to be implemented, people would comply more. Right now with the current structure of the laws, when it comes down to stores and even with police stops, there's an incentive not to comply with police officers. There's an incentive to go into a store to steal a merchandise and then to get stopped by a store employee and get into a fight. There's an incentive for that because now you can sue the store. Even though you were committing a crime. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And this is something that I've talked about so many times, but I think Texas has got it right with this particular law, because we cannot we cannot have laws in place to protect the criminals and alienate the law-abiding citizens. It just doesn't make any sense to me, right? Now, while we're on the subject of body cameras, one of the things that I notice in watching a lot of these body camera videos when it comes down to law enforcement is that, a lot of these criminals, or a lot of the people nowadays who get stopped by police officers, and some of them, they know that there's a body camera, some of them don't know that there's a body camera, but it's kind of like, it's weird to me. It's not, I won't necessarily say weird, but it's hilarious to me, right? It's hilarious, and it's also frustrating as well, because somebody would get stopped by the police department, by a police officer. And when they get stopped by a police officer, they'll get asked some questions, and then, they refuse to comply. The situation escalates, and during the part when the situation escalates, and then they're about to get arrested, a police officer could simply be grabbing their hands, and they're screaming out, "You're hurting me, you're choking me, you're choking me." And the police officer, and you're looking at the video, and the police officer is pulling them by the hand, trying to get them out of the car. And then, they're saying, like, "Why you got your gun pointed at me? Stop hitting me, stop punching me." And there's no blows or anything like that that's been thrown. And it's weird for me that even for the people that know that there's a body camera, or they see people around watching, and they're screaming out all this nonsense and different things that is not happening, they really believe, I think it goes to show you how some people, and I can't just call them criminals, because not all of them are criminals. Some of them are just, let's say it for what it is. Some of them are just stupid. How some of these people, they really believe that everybody else is stupid, and they're the smartest person in the room, and they can say something even though people are standing there and watching it. And they have this mindset of, believe what I'm saying, believe what I'm screaming out. Don't believe what you see with your own eyes. I'm saying that this person's hitting me, and even though you see they're holding my hand and pulling me out the car, believe that they're hitting me. If you see them like putting my hands behind my back and their knees is not on my back, and I say that, "Get your knees off my back, get your knees off my neck, I can't breathe," believe what I'm saying. Don't believe what you see. Don't believe what you see them grabbing my hands and placing behind my back. Believe that they have their knees on my back or their knees on my neck. It's just, I don't know. I think, and I kind of go back to what I said before in some of the previous podcasts. We're a country where we're trying to include everybody and be all inclusive. But we're getting to a point where, there are certain individuals that we don't need to include into our society. We need to lock them up, put them in jail, or put them in mental asylums, because they should not be roaming free amongst law-abiding citizens. That's just my personal point of view on it. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. My name is Ali Telford. I post new podcasts every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.